Hello, how are you? I hope you're fine. And today we're going to have this lesson three that is about this. We are going to discuss gestures and customs. All right. This lesson we are going to read the text, and before we read, let's talk about this lesson. Let's discuss these points about customs. Okay. As we're gonna talk about our body expression, let's understand about some vocabulary of our hands. So the name of our fingers, as you know it, we have 10 fingers and 10 toes. So the toes are the fingers from our feet. We say toes, right? And fingers from our hands. These parts, these fingers, they have names. Then you see here, number one, we say thumb, thumb. The letter B is silent, so we don't pronounce it. This B is silent, okay? Number two, index finger. It's easy. We use this finger to look for when you have a list like this, so that's why it's called the index finger. Middle finger, okay, it's right in the middle of our hand, middle finger. Ring finger, as the name say, he says it's to use our rings, okay, ring finger. Then we have the pinky or small finger, but usually we call it pinky, okay, pinky. Our palm, this is our palm, and our fist, as we talked about before, right? This is our fist. Okay, so as we're gonna have this vocabulary in this reading, what we're gonna do is like this. I will play this audio for you to listen, and I will stop for us. I will comment on vocabulary, the ideas, constructions, pronunciation, collocation. So there are many views that we can have this study of this reading, right? And then after this explanation, I will play again, and I hope you pause and then repeat it just to practice. So if you can practice really close to the pronunciation, so you can try to imitate the sound really close to the reading, to the this audio, it will be perfect. All right, let's try it. Okay, so let's listen this first, the title and the first paragraph, and then I will comment. Okay, let's go.
Read and listen. We talked to June Galloway about her book, Get Off on the Right Foot. Don't let the wrong gesture ruin your day. English is the world's international language. But in your book, you focused on nonverbal communication. Why is that so important?
Well, gestures and other body language can have different meanings in different places. Something that you think is friendly or polite could come across as very rude in another culture. I've described many of these customs and cultural differences so my readers don't get off on the wrong foot when they meet people from places where the culture differs from their own.
Okay, so let's understand this first part and see these details, okay? Okay, we talk, when we say we use the verb talk, we say we talk to someone. Can you say talk with? Yes, you can, but grammatically, this is really correct to use to after talk, okay? So we talk to someone about something, about her book. Good. Get off on the right foot. So, get off is to start your day. Get off. Get off on the right foot with your right foot. Okay? Don't let the wrong gesture ruin your day. So, we need to pay attention here when this is just an expression. So, oh, today I get off on my right on my left foot, meaning that your left foot is not a good thing, is not a good day, okay? Or today is it's my bad hair day. They sometimes use this expression about that you didn't start your day really well, so you have a bad hair day, okay? Well, English is the world's international language, but in your book you focused, remember about this pronunciation? So we say focused, focused on. This is the preposition we use after focus, focus. Non-verbal communication, so body language, you're not using your language, so it's non-verbal. Why is that so important? Well, gestures and other body language can have different meanings in different places. Something that you think is friendly or polite could come across. Come across, it means when you uh, transfer a message, when you make yourself understood. You know what I mean? Em português, fazer-se entender, dar-se por entender. So can a pessoa pode entender errado, pode entender bem ou errado, né? Então aqui pode dar-se por entender um tanto quanto rude, né? Rude, very rude in another culture. Não falamos que nem cool, culture, okay? I've described many of these customs and cultural differences so my readers don't get off on the wrong foot when they meet people from places where the culture differs from, difere de, né? A preposição aí, from, differs from, okay? Their on, suas próprias, okay? All right, let's continue.
Can greeting someone in the wrong way really lead to misunderstanding?
In some cases, yes. The firm handshake a North American expects may seem quite aggressive in other places. And a light handshake, which is normal in some countries, may seem unfriendly to a North American.
Okay, can greeting someone in the wrong way really lead to misunderstanding? So lead to misunderstanding. This is a collocation that means levar ao não entendimento, ao entendimento errado, misunderstanding. So we have this prefix that is wrong. I mean, it's non, okay? So it's like no, misunderstanding, understanding, misunderstanding. Lead to a misunderstanding can be something wrong. So in some cases, yes. Pay attention that this pronunciation, cases, cases. We don't say cases, okay? The sound is not Z, it is S, the sound of S, case, base, house, mouse. Remember that? Okay, so in some cases, yes. The firm handshake a North American expects may seem quite aggressive in other places. Quite, tanto quanto, é pouquinho menos que very, okay? Quite aggressive. And the light handshake, which is normal in some countries, may seem unfriendly to a North American. So North American people expect that you give him or her a firm handshake. So can come across a little different if you give them a light handshake, okay? So can lead to misunderstanding, right? Let's continue.
In what ways can hand gestures lead to misunderstanding?
Well, as an example, we assume all people indicate the numbers 1 to 10 with their fingers the same way. But in fact, they don't. While North Americans usually use an index finger for 1, most Europeans use a thumb. North Americans extend all 10 fingers for 10. However, Chinese indicate the numbers 1 to 10 all on one hand. For example, an extended thumb and pinky means 6, and a fist means 10. Imagine how confusing this can be when you're trying to communicate quantities and prices with your hands.
What?
Okay, let's see some words here, some how to pronounce them. In what ways can hand gestures lead to misunderstanding? So, well, as an example, we assume. So, we assume all people indicate numbers 1 to 10. Então, assume não é assumir. Assume é a ideia de presumir, é diferente. Então, é um false friend, ok? A gente acha, né? A gente tende a pensar que. So we assume. Então, não confundir com assumir, tá? We assume all people indicate the numbers 1 to 10 with their fingers the same way. Então, né? Então, indicando os numerais aí com os dedos da mesma forma, né? But in fact, they don't. Enquanto que, então a gente usa esse while, North Americans usually use an index finger for 1, okay? Most Europeans use a thumb. So start 1, 2, 3, but Europeans use 1, 2, 3. So North Americans extend all 10 fingers for 10. However, esse however é um conector bem interessante. A gente pode usar para contrapor, né? No entanto, however, Chinese indicate the numbers 1 to 10 all on one hand. For example, an extended thumb and the pinky means 6, and the fist means 10. Imagine how confusing this can be when you're trying to communicate quantities and prices with your hands. So, different customs, okay? Let's move on. Okay.
What other gestures can cause confusion?
Take the gesture for come here, for example. In North America, people gesture with the palm up. Well, in Southern Europe, that gesture means goodbye. And in many Asian countries, the palm up gesture is considered rude. Instead, people there gesture with the palm down.
Okay. What other gestures can cause confusion? What other gestures can cause confusion? Take, esse take aí é como se fosse dar um exemplo. Então, pegue aí esse exemplo, né? Take. Veja, take. Take the gesture for come here, for example. In North America, people gesture with the palm up, okay? Well, in Southern Europe, the gesture means goodbye. And in many Asian countries, the palm up gesture is considered rude. Instead, people there gesture with the palm down. So it depends on the gesture of each place. So if you use palm up or palm down, this is interesting to know before you go to a place like that and to know how this works. Okay. Okay, here, any word here, let me see. People gesture, so this is a verb. Southern, this is an adjective for south. Ok, south is sul, southern da parte do sul, as pessoas do sul, southern Europe, ou a parte sul da Europa, ok? So we use this earn to indicate adjective. This is an adjective, okay? Asian countries, okay, considered rude. Instead, so you can start this sentence. Ao invés, instead, people there gesture with the palm down. All right, let's go on.
I've heard that, in Japan, pointing with the index finger is not polite. Is that right?
Yes. Japanese prefer to point with the palm open and facing up.
Okay, I've heard that. Eu ouvi dizer, né? I've heard we use the present perfect. I've heard. In Japan, pointing with the index finger is not polite. Is that right? Yes, Japanese prefer to point with the palm open and facing up, like indicating who they want or what they want. So just like this, it's kind of rude, okay? All right, let's continue. The last question.
Surely there must be some gestures used everywhere, right? What about the thumbs up sign for great?
Sorry, that's extremely rude in Australia and the Middle East. This is why it's so important to be aware of these cultural differences.
Ok, surely, certamente, né? Com certeza, surely. There must be. Olha aí, there is é do haver, existir. There must be, deve haver, ok? Então, a gente coloca o must aí, o modal verb no meio do there is e vira must be. There must be, deve haver. There must be some gestures used everywhere, right? What about the thumbs up sign for great? Like thumbs up, thumbs down. Sorry, that's extremely rude in Australia and the Middle East. Middle East is Oriente Médio, né? This is why it's so important to be aware. Esse aware é estar ciente, estar sabendo o que está acontecendo. To be aware of these cultural differences. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is to reward this part of the video, and each part try to repeat each sentence using the pronunciation, the rhythm. And if you have any questions about vocabulary or constructions or grammar, please take note that we are going to talk about it in our practice class, okay? All right, so let's take a look at these gestures. So these are some of the examples we've seen in this reading part. For the number 6, so how some people use, and this is how Japanese people indicate number 6. For coming here, palm facing up, palm facing down, okay? Pointing, to use your index finger or an open palm. So some customs around the world. Moving on, let's talk about these now. Okay, these are just some supporting details about the reading. No worries about doing this right now. We've explored the reading already. Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever been surprised by someone's gestures or body language on TV, in the movies, or in real life? What did you see? What do you think the action meant? Why were you surprised? So let's analyze these questions. Have you ever been surprised? So I'm using this question here in the present perfect to know about in your life. So I'm using ever. Have you ever been surprised by? When we are surprised, we are surprised by someone or by something. Okay. Okay. If you've seen, suppose any place where you've been to, places that you visited, you can tell me, or you can tell right now, or you can write on a paper, then we discuss. Okay, so what was that gesture? What did you see? And what do you think the action meant? So was it different in this country that you've visited? Is it different from here? And were you surprised? Why were you surprised? Right, you can take note. And discuss gestures and customs. Let's see some travel tips. So here we are going to read the travel tips about gestures and customs around the world. Let's compare your own gestures and customs with those described. So do any of them seem strange or rude? Let's analyze. So travel tips. If someone gives you a gift, thank the person and open it right away. So what do you think about it? Usually we open right away because, I don't know, it's not so um, polite if you get something from someone you like and just leave it beside or leave behind you, and you don't give the right attention, and then you open, you are then you thank the person. Yes, so this is really polite here too. When a visitor is leaving your home, you should walk with that person out the door. So you should walk with that person out the door. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's good because we do this, right? When you have someone visiting you and this someone is going home. So we walk them out the door just to say bye. Okay? If you are going to be more than 15 minutes late for a party, lunch, or dinner, you should call to explain. Yes, it's really polite to give a call and say that you're gonna be late. For then, it's a sign of respect because then the other person who is waiting for you gets not worried, or um, it's a sign of respect. Yes, to do this. But here in Brazil, unfortunately, we think that 15 minutes, 20 minutes is within the time limit to call. So some people call, some other don't think it's necessary. All right. To gesture that something is good, hold your hand up, palm facing out, and slowly bring your fingers to the thumb. Well, this is in Turkey. This is a custom. Okay. Hold your hand up, palm facing out, and slowly bring your fingers to the thumb. Okay, so it means uh, something is good. All right, so these are customs. If you want to get a server's attention, it's more polite to use eye contact rather than hand gesture. Rather than, do que, né? Do que. Então é mais educado usar contato visual do que um gesto com as mãos, né? So sometimes here people used to call the waiter, like waiter, and this is not polite. Um, some people, some waiters can see this eye contact, others not. They can't see. It's really difficult sometimes when you have to call a waiter and then he sees you, or but this is the way that must be done, right? It's really polite. Um, when greeting people, older people should always be greeted first. Então, quando ao cumprimentar as pessoas, né, as pessoas mais velhas devem sempre ser cumprimentadas primeiro. So this is a custom in Mongolia, and here I believe that we greet the first person who is, I mean, near us, and then this is how we do it. Okay. Yes, this is another custom. Before you enter someone's home, you should take off your shoes. Oh, this is really nice. I think more people are doing right now with this pandemic. It's interesting because this is a show of respect, and you also keep your house clean, and it's hygiene, okay? But not everybody does this here. Some people are doing more often, and this is interesting. So here are some travel tips about some customs around the world. If there is any vocabulary you don't know, please take note, and then we are going to talk about it, okay? Moving on. So uh, here, this is a note padding. I mean, it's an exercise for you to write something, okay? Suppose the topic is showing respect for older people. And what's the custom? It's not polite to disagree with an older person. Do you agree? What are these rules here? So here's to discuss about some rules that we have as in our customs, like show respect to older people, do's and don'ts for gestures. Esse aqui é um jeito interessante de o que fazer e não fazer, né? Então a gente pode expressar assim, do's and don'ts for gestures, para os gestos, né? Topics for polite small talk. O que a gente pode falar para ser um small talk educado, né? What are the customs for invitations? Visiting someone's home, giving gifts, offering or refusing food, touching or not touching, So one good topic right now would be touching or not touching, or how would it be after this pandemic goes away? So how will be the new customs of greetings? So not touching, touching. People won't touch. How it's gonna be? Who knows? Only God knows. Okay. All right. So let's do something here. Turning on the page. Okay, so this next lesson is about listening, and we're gonna have it for the next recording. Okay, so our next recording will be lesson 4, and it's gonna train our listening skills. All right, so I hope you like it. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye bye. Thank you.